as usual, we have somebody who's claiming to be a gaming consultant who is talking about the, quote, realities of the business to try to gaslight you, the gamer, into accepting that DEI is just an inevitability, that it's something that's just going to happen always, that all of the companies want this, that it's just natural, and it's not. It is something that's forced. It is something that these consulting firms are pushing upon everybody, and they're trying to make it into like a cloud structure in the industry to where, you know, you'll get hired if you're saying the right things about the pronouns and things like that, and you're not going to get hired if you don't. And so this is what we're pushing back against, of course. And you can see right here, video game critic, consultant, mock reviewer, and then you get into her little she/her profile right here, and look, U.S. politics. This is kind of what she is about, and getting exposed by Smash JT about this. We'll get into the reactions as to what she's saying in just a moment, but this is a crazy thing that she's trying to propagate here in the wake of what you can just see plainly with your eyes, how corrupt the video game industry is. And we will, of course, get into this in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. Please smash the like and subscribe button and join us here as we talk about all things in the culture, especially relating to science fiction and fantasy. I'm a science fiction and fantasy author myself, and this is my newsletter on my website, guys. I give out a full graphic novel, my superhero book, Flying Sparks, a full science fiction novel, and full steampunk novella, which is fantasy for you guys. So you can check out a little of everything. I write pretty eclectically, and I'm very, very prolific. So if you enjoy this stuff, I would love to have you around here and hanging out, guys. And definitely be on the newsletter just in case anything happens with YouTube and things like that, because you never know. We're talking about things that are a little too spicy for the elitists out there in tech, and you know exactly what happens. So that's in the description below, guys. Thank you for signing up and joining our community. Really appreciate you and appreciate those who read especially. You guys are awesome. So, Emma Kent, a former games journalist at Eurogamer, one of the most corrupt magazines out there, who now freelances as a mock reviewer for video game developers, attempted to gaslight gamers on what DEI consultants are doing. In a thread on X, she wrote, "Hello, game consultant here." Hello, fellow gamers. The idea that consultants are forcing diversity into games is ridiculous, because 99% of the time the devs have already decided that they want their games to be inclusive and just want to help fine-tuning how certain stories come across. Hope this helps. Pretty bold statement right here, and this is already going viral across the internet. And naturally, she's removed the ability to comment because she knows that gamers are going to push back about this. They always lie, they always double down, and they always are scared of the actual gaming customer base out here because they know that they can't get away with things, and they know that they're going to get called out about it, and they hate it. And so this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to make it sweep for Sweet Baby Inc. and Black Girl Gamers and groups like that, pretending like they're not actually doing a tremendous amount of damage to the industry when we know for a fact that they are. We've been covering it here on the channel for months, and this is just hitting the tip of the iceberg for how deep this goes and how deep the corruption is within the industry. Now, this is not just consulting firms themselves, and maybe they do make these decisions to bring them in, but it's because of the HR departments at these video game companies and the woke activists that they hire, who then strong-arm them to bring in these consultants in the first place. Most regular devs who actually care about gaming totally oppose this stuff and don't love adding this stuff into the games whatsoever. Here's what she continued to say on this. The people peddling this conspiracy theory, oh my gosh, are fabricating rage bait content to grow their YouTube channels and social media followings. Emma Kent, that's called reporting the news. And when you worked at Eurogamer, you would talk about the news in gaming as well, in theory, or you'd just shill for the companies in order to try to gain Eurogamer's following. This is what the news is, by the way. And so that's ridiculous to talk about this on this level and call it a conspiracy theory. I'm going to call all of you guys, Alyssa Mercante and the people who work at IGN, you're conspiracy theorists who are doing conspiracies on behalf of corporate media. How about that? They do not understand how the industry actually works, nor do they care to learn, because they're simply seeking engagement. Oh my gosh. Isn't that what you're doing with this post, by the way? It seems like you're seeking engagement on a level which is absolutely ridiculous to try to build up your clout as a consultant here, right? The fact that this has been brought up again in reference to Dragon Age the Veilguard is particularly laughable. Have the people throwing these forced DEI allegations ever actually played a Bioware game? Yeah, and Bioware is forcing DEI and has been for a long time. We've been calling it out here ever since any of their Pride Month crap that they put out there because they are very, very bad, and these people have infiltrated these companies. They were not there before. If you look at the makeup of the developers who are working on Dragon Age the Veilguard versus Dragon Ages 1 and 2, they are not the same people. They are not not the same demographics. They are not even people who care about gaming or gameplay. They are people who are there specifically because of identity politics. They were hired because they're women or trans or black or whatever, and they want to insert this crap into games. And yes, they are employees who were brought in to do that. It's the same thing as a consulting firm doing that, except for they're directly working for the company. So pretending like it's some different thing is just a complete outright lie, and it is a gaslighting situation right here. Sweet Baby Inc., as That Park Place says here, used to make it very clear what it is they did. Their website, it says, our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Literally doing what she says they weren't doing. During 2019, the Game Developers Conference, Kim Belair, who's the CEO there, said that developers working on AAA studios terrorize their employees in order to hire these consultants and push the woke agenda. So these woke people just infiltrate these industries. Then they try to strong-arm and blackmail people. And then they hire these consultants. It's not just a quick refinement like she downplays it. This is what Kim Belair from Sweet Baby says. If you're working in AAA, which I did for many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value of what you're asking when you're consultants, and when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what they want. This is terrorism, literally. This is what these consulting companies do. It is that bad. Because they have to consider, I say out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true. Because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and what you have to deal with in mitigating harm with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you could impress upon them both ethically and financially. You could say that this is important. She elaborated, this is also a valid decision because to have, if you're working with a thin narrative budget and you work with AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed with the amount of money that marketing can give you. She then got to the end of her presentation. She admit she's injecting the wokeness into the video game industry. None of what we're doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually care about making this stuff. How pleasant. Well, she totally did this, and this is totally what the agenda is as Sweet Baby Inc. continues and as these other companies continue in this sort of diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging strategies. And gamers are really having none of it. If we go through the quote tweets, since this woman did try to hide things, John F. Trent, a wonderful journalist himself, says, we know you still have the same woke agenda, which is what we're opposed to and why we'll continue not to buy this trash. And here's some of her inclusive game design right there. Cancel This Podcast says, you lost me at game consultant. Kindly shut the F up. Your BS is not wanted nor needed, and your wages are not justified. Caesar Silverberg says, this is quite literally like Kamala Harris telling men to vote for her by insulting them. Do you think that we're blind and stupid? The answer is yes. They do think that we're stupid. They think that we are just people who are pay pigs, who are just going to come in for whatever agenda they push. And if it's the internal Bioware promoting DEI, that's not different than Sweet Baby Inc. promoting DEI. It's not going to change where that source came from. All of these people have infiltrated the industry from consulting firms down to the developers themselves, and it is a problem that needs to be remedied in order to make games great again, and that's what we're trying to do right here. Now, all you have to do, my friends, is just follow this simple plan. Don't buy these AAA games from these nasty companies like Bioware or like Ubisoft, and you've been doing so far. I mean, obviously, Dragon Age is doing a little better than what Ubisoft has been doing in recent days, but this is something that just stay away from Dragon Age the Veilguard, and you don't have to worry about it because these games are going to be gone in a couple years, and they're already admitting it. IGN was already posting pretty much that this might be the last Dragon Age. Ubisoft is now talking about moving their Assassin's Creed into just remakes at this point because they know they've failed on every level, and they know that you're not going to come in for their agendas anymore, and they know that it is there, it is thick, and that they're responsible for it. So yeah, they'll try to gaslight because these people want to keep their jobs, they want to gain clout within these small structures, but you have the power to stop them. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, my friends, and join my mailing list. Grab some books, no DEI required. Really appreciate you for being there and reading. We'll be back soon.